My goal was to become the most successful student that Sauder had ever had. As you can see here, I was extremely ambitious and goal-driven. I was super excited to just graduate out of high school and go to university and finally become surrounded by like-minded people such as myself. Now, this is a very embarrassing compilation of pictures of me having nervous breakdowns almost every single day. I had a 62% average. I failed a university course for the first time. I was really depressed, and I highly considered dropping out of university every single day. I would go to my classes and think, wow, this place is not for me. Everybody seems so much smarter, so much better than me. How did I go from that super ambitious, super highly motivated grade 12 student into this state? Well, that's what I'd like to talk to you guys today about. I'd like to talk to you about my past, give a bit of context to my background, and how I became the person that I am today. Then I'd like to talk about the roadblocks that I experienced and what made me realize that I had to change my mindset and my goals and what I define as success. And third, I'd like to talk to you about this growth versus fixed mindset and how it absolutely revolutionized my life. Overall, I hope by the end of the presentation today, you'll have the key to success. So, a bit about my past. Who is Janette Kim? So, these are a few pictures of myself when I was in grade 12, and I did a bunch of extracurriculars, almost everything that you can predict for a grade 12 keener student who wanted to get into a good business school. I did IB certificate English and history, scored pretty well on those. I did night shift, so I volunteered at a soup kitchen. I did a bunch of Model UN, went to about 20 to 30 different conferences, staffed, delegated, directed, and spent almost 300 hours doing Model UN in high school. I also did nonprofits, Wish Youth Network Society, Kindler Society, Social Diversity for Children, and a bunch of other executive positions. I did student council, I was a grade representative. I did business competitions, was able to win a few of those. And I also did culinary arts, so I'd come in at 7 a.m., do my mise-en class, my meal prep, and then I would go after school and come home at like 5 to 6 p.m. every single day. So as you can see here, I did everything that I possibly could to get my resume up to date, and I was like, wow, I'm so good, I'm so smart, like, I'm so full of it. And as you can see here, it got even worse. This is a grad trans presentation that I did for the middle schoolers when I was in grade 12, detailing my experience of what high school was like. I wrote on the top left there, goal-driven. Everything that I did in high school was for my future. I included screenshots of the type of house that I wanted to live in, the career that I wanted to have, the amount of money that I wanted to have, and I even have a schedule here for every 30-minute increment saying, this is break time, this is study time, this is dinner time, etc., etc. And I said, my goal after graduating is to have a really successful career in business consulting or just make a lot of money. And that's what success was to me. I created an identity of myself around success. And what was success? Success to me was achieving good grades, getting good positions, having financial stability, getting a good job, being recognized, etc. And I was a cookie-cutter definition of that. And I was successful. I did well in high school. So how did I go from that into this person who's having nervous breakdowns every single day and failing courses? Well, that was when I realized that I had to change my mindset and what I define as success. So what were the three kind of key points that led me to believe that? First, I failed comp sci and had a 62% average, as I keep reiterating. And this was honestly a huge, major, drastic change for me. I was used to doing really well. I was used to excelling and not having to try too hard. My whole family is working in tech. My dad is a solutions engineer at TELUS. My mom has a robotics and coding academy. My brother and my cousin both have business and computer science degrees with honors, 90% average, and they both have jobs in really great tech companies, Samsung and a quantum computing firm in Vancouver. So as you can see, I was extremely intimidated, and I was like, I have to work in tech to be successful. And when I failed, I was like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Having this mini midlife crisis at the age of 19, which is absolutely crazy. Second, everybody seemed better than me. When I went to Sauder, I went in with the mindset of, I am going to succeed. I'm finally going to be in a place where everybody is, the same as me, or I'm going to be even better. I remember on Facebook, I would look at the different profiles of the different incoming Sauder students and think, wow, like, I'm going to be better than this person, or this person looks really smart, I should be friends with that person. And when I got into university, it seemed like nobody else was struggling except for me. And third, I wasn't succeeding. While people around me were getting really cool opportunities like volunteering at Kenya, giving business fundamentals to underprivileged children, or getting internships in the first year. For me, I was literally doing nothing, making banana bread and whipping dalgona coffee at home. So for me, these 3 factors impacted me greatly because I had built my identity around success. I saw myself as a failure. I was extremely unhappy with my life, upset with everything going around me, all the instability, and didn't know how to cope with everything that was going on. Especially because COVID-19 happened, a lot of my first year was cut back, and then a lot of external things happened with relationships, with friendships, and I also got into a car accident on top of that. And I thought, nothing is going to get better, my life is just going downhill, and I peaked in high school. That was something that I used to say to my friends all the time. Because my identity was built around my success, I was not happy because I was not quote-unquote successful. Until I learned about this idea called the fixed versus growth mindset, and it absolutely revolutionized my life. So this is based on a book called Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck. And there's a lot of really great TED Talks about it, so I won't delve too much into the topic. I would definitely recommend that you guys watch it or read this book. But it's absolutely an amazing book, and it will give you insights on different parts of your life no matter how many times you read it. So what is this idea about the fixed versus growth mindset? The fixed mindset assumes our character, intelligence, and creative ability are static, which we can't change in a meaningful way. Similarly to your eye color, I thought that my intelligence was static. No matter how hard I tried to change my eye color, I just can't change it. Similarly, I thought my intelligence, I just can't work at it. I was just born this way, and I can't become smarter than the people who were born to be smart. And then I thought about these different pain points again, the things that were causing me pain, and the things that I thought deemed me unsuccessful. And then I thought, maybe it's just my mindset. And it was in fact true. First, I felt like I didn't have any control over my life. I felt like I couldn't control the success or the outcome of my life. I felt like I couldn't control what I did, and no matter how hard I tried, I would never be as good enough. Second, with the culture of comparison, I thought my abilities were stagnant and non-changing. I was born this way, and that's the way that I am. And third, I never did anything to challenge myself. While people were getting these really cool opportunities, I only applied for the ones that I thought that I would get. In university, everybody applies to different clubs, and they all apply to internships or club positions or whatever. I applied to one club because that was the only one that I thought that I could get. So in my mind, I was limiting myself from different opportunities and different things that I could achieve. So when I heard about this growth mindset, it absolutely revolutionized my life, as I keep saying over and over again. So what is the growth mindset? Individuals who believe their talents can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and input from others. Now, applying this mindset to my life changed my life in so many drastic ways. So with challenge, instead of limiting the opportunities that came into my life, I opened the doors to new opportunities and challenges, even if that meant experiencing failure. So like I said before, I was always interested in working in tech, but I didn't have the coding skills. It was just a strength, it was just a weakness, and it was just something that I couldn't really do, and something that other people do better. And so last year, August 2020, I was scrolling on LinkedIn one day. Not sure if everybody here knows what LinkedIn is, but it's basically like professional Facebook. I was scrolling on LinkedIn and I saw this event called How to Break into Tech with No Code. I saw that and I was like, this is for me. This is a place where I can show my strengths. So I signed up for this event, went, and it absolutely changed my life. So I went to the event coordinators and I said, I need to be a part of this organization somehow. They were all grads from University of Berkeley and University of Michigan, so I felt very small in comparison to them, and I was much younger than them as well. But I started pitching these ideas of what I could do and what I could do within this organization to make impact and change. And somehow they listened to me, and we grew to a startup that has over 25,000 students, and we impact them daily, and we give them career advice, and we help them change and make an impact in their lives as well, for those who thought that they couldn't work in tech as well. And still to this day, I get messages from people telling me, thank you, Janette, so much for TechPod, it absolutely changed my life. So if I had not opened this door to new opportunities on LinkedIn and exploring new things, I would not have been able to impact 25,000 students all around the world. Now, the culture of comparison. Instead of comparing myself to others, people's success and progress, I acknowledge my weaknesses and capitalize on my strengths. So as I said before, I don't know how to code, but what I can do is I can communicate, I can have very strong soft skills, such as presenting here today in front of you guys. Or I have really good writing skills. So I started writing on LinkedIn, and I started posting content that was very important to me. Things about rejection, failure, burnout. And somehow, some way, over time, I was able to reach over 2 million people with my posts. I was also featured on LinkedIn's newsletter for impactful posts about rejection. And that's this post right here. And now, I wrote this post 5 months ago, and I still get messages to this day of people telling me, Janette, this is exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. I'm going through the exact same thing, and I don't see this type of stuff very often. Because I was vulnerable with my weaknesses and capitalized on my strengths, I was able to reach over 350,000 people with this post and 11,736 students and 400 comments and 93 reshares. So this goes to show if I had not taken this culture of comparison and used it for my advantage, I would not have been able to make an impact as I was today. And lastly, with control, instead of focusing on what I couldn't control, I started focusing on what I could control. So instead of after a test being like, oh my gosh, I did so poorly, what am I gonna do? I'm a failure. I started thinking about, okay, well, now that the test is over, what can I do next? What test do I have to study for next? What can I do to get to my next goal? And as a result, I was able to finish second year with honors. I was able to get my dream job within tech consulting, which I'm working in today. And I also prioritized my mental health and relationships with my friends and my family. So, what are things that you can do today to adopt this growth mindset? First, redefine what success means to you. For me, after I graduated high school, success was the numbers and the metrics, getting the positions, getting the jobs, being successful, having good grades. And now success to me means being able to make an impact and do meaningful things like being here today and presenting in front of you guys. Second, recognize how you want to become successful. See failures as opportunities and praise efforts, not talent. Although I may not be as good as, the Bill Gates, or I may not ever be as smart as Elon Musk, I can still work my hardest and try and become the best version of myself. And third, acknowledge your growth and your progress. I still may not get that 95% average that I used to get when I was in high school, but I'm still extremely proud of who I am today and where I've come. So this is me today, a third-year business student at UBC. I'm a Salesforce consultant at Traction on Demand, which was a job that I really, really wanted and that I worked for 3 months. I'm the chief of staff of TechPod, which is a media startup that we have on LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn influencer with over 4,000 followers, and I'm a proud Pacific Academy alumni. So as I wrap up today's presentation, I would like you guys to all think about where you are in the spectrum between fixed and growth mindset and where you want to be and how you can take that key to be successful. Thank you so much.